So back, one of the first COVID cases I had was an elderly gentleman, and he was a Korean War vet and just a lovely man, and had been separated from his family because at this time we weren't allowing any visitors in. So he, at that point, had not seen his family for approximately 3 weeks and was fighting so hard and was on maximum settings of the BiPAP and 100% oxygen, which means that the next step for him would have been to be on a ventilator. And he knew at his age and with some of his health history, he didn't want to be intubated. And we'd had a good day the day before, and through the night, his oxygen requirements were getting more, and he was obviously getting tired. And Dr. Parker, the respiratory doc, came in and told him at this point there was not anything we could do. We could see about making him comfortable, or we could possibly put him on a ventilator. And so I went in, and he was pretty tearful but thankful for everything I did, which really tore me up. And he said, "Well, I'm dying." And we talked about making him comfortable, and luckily, the infectious disease doctor was out, and we were able to get him off of COVID precautions. And I talked to my manager, and given the situation, we ended up getting his family in. And by this point, he couldn't talk very much because he was so winded. And one of the things that stuck with me is he kept thanking me over and over, and that letting him see his family. And he said if there was anything he could do for me with his time on Earth, he would do it in a second. All I had to do was ask. And so we got his family in, and he visited with them, and we gave him a little bit of morphine so he wouldn't feel air hungry. And he was resting, and his family was very thankful. And after he passed, they thanked me for letting an old Marine die with his boots on. And I just remember that was the first death in many. But it was awful because you couldn't, everything you were doing wasn't to get them better. It was to help them die easier, because we saw so few people get better. One of the other things that struck me is, our patients would be so fragile. We had a 30-something-year-old lady down here, and having to prone her, which helps the lungs expand and to breathe. Unfortunately, because of having someone face down and just the things that go along with that, no matter sometimes how much you move them, their face gets swollen. The tube rubs in the wrong place. You try to pat as much as you can, but coupled with the fact they have low oxygen, literally she had bed sores on her face, and her face was gone. And trying to explain that to the family when there was no visitation, because when they had last seen her, she was able to talk, and now you have someone that didn't even look human anymore. And it's just things like that that keep you up at night.